Yeah,
I have a lot of problems with this headset. That's good feedback.
I feel like the quality is good. It's crisp and clear, or maybe you just have like a really good radio voice, and it like the mic doesn't need to do the heavy lifting or anything like that. But I feel that
I don't know.
we never ended up coming up with a name. But I guess like we should introduce ourselves. I'm Jose Alonso. I'm the Dirty Marxist, and this is the first podcast with how do you want to distinguish yourself on the cast?
I haven't even decided yet. That is literally not even crossed my mind
I just always
because
call
I
you
don't.
Choco, and it's funny
Yeah.
because to be honest, I used AI to generate our background photo, and I put
Hmm.
Riot Girl mask as part of like the text, and it ended up randomly coming out kind of like a chocobo. It kind of looks like a pink chocobo, right?
Oh my God. No, I didn't even see it. It looks more like cat-like to me, but I can kind of see it with like the mouth,
Yeah, it
like the
looks like a
bottom half
beak,
of the face. Holy shit. Yeah.
but with a little bit different colors. Like if it was yellow instead of pink, it had like and the beak looked. It would So and then I kind of look like a One Piece character. So I was like, that's kind of funny.
I like it. I dig it. I like the hammer. I guess it's supposed to be a hammer and sickle. It kind of looks like a bird
It does. It
on
does
your
look like a
pocket.
bird.
I know what it's supposed to be. That's all that matters.
The
Thanks,
girlies that
AI.
know know, and the girlies that don't.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so we also never came up with a name, but I did uh also plug that into a AI thing to try to like get some funny names. And let me see if we're still here. 'Cause that would be really because they came up really funny. So like at first I said 10 podcast names, uh, woman and man communist duo from Florida. And so the options that popped out, the 10 options were Sunshine Revolutionaries, the Red Palmetto Podcast,
The red palmetto. Okay, that's my leader so far. Oh my God. I like
commies,
it.
commies in the Keys. Uh,
Always in the key. I guess that would work if we were in South Florida.
it would. I mean, the Keys is like my hometown, so if we were both from Key West, I think that would have been like an easy leader. But
Yeah.
so the next one then was Orange Grove and Overthrows,
Orange Grove on okay, I don't know if I might like that one better.
the Gulf Coast Manifesto, which to be honest, like that is like it's like the offshoot of like Streetlight Manifesto's, you know, next
Yeah.
project.
I
Uh
like that, except both of us are on or closer to the Atlantic
yeah,
coast.
yeah. Red Tide Radio. If we were a music based one, that is a sick name for a radio show. Red Tide Radio, kind
Dude,
of cool.
yeah, holy shit. Red Tide Radio.
The Florida
So wait, it was
Vanguard,
what was that first one that it was like red
the Red
palmetto?
Palmetto Podcast.
Hmm. That's funny because there's a town a road that goes through my town called Red Bug Lake Road. I would
Oh
want to
wow,
like you.
that is strong Central Florida energy for the naming of a road. You know, because I feel like
Yeah.
Central Florida has a very strong vibe. And
Hmm.
what was it called again? Like, what was the distinction?
Red Bug Lake Road.
Yeah,
There's a lake called Red Bug Lake in some like neighborhood
I get.
somewhere.
I guess once you've had like 100 mini lakes all over your, incorporated area, there's only so much left that you can name them. You're like,
Yeah.
this one will be green bug, and this one will be yellow, and then we'll call this one red bug.
It's
uh,
yeah, like Lake Mary has I think uh three lakes called Lake Mary in its borders. There's like Lake Mary, Little Lake Mary, and Big Lake Mary. It's so silly.
it is silly, and I mean, it is kind of ridiculous because I feel there's all these lakes, but you never see them because, like, I think Florida building code just doesn't allow for like you to build near these lakes often with like things. So like Clearmont's supposed to have a whole bunch of hills and a whole bunch of lakes, and I mean, I know there's land of lakes area in Florida, but I just always feel like I
Hmm.
drive by them and I'm like, where the fuck are all the lakes? And then
Yeah. And then you got monstrosities like Lake Popka, Lake Monroe, Lake Jessup.
yeah. Well, so those
Like
names
just
came.
up the alligator infested swamp.
I mean, you can't have Florida without alligators. They are tied together forever. Have you
Hmm.
ever eaten alligator before?
Have what?
Have you eaten alligator before?
Yeah, I had fried gator tail.
It's good.
It's surprisingly good.
It kind of
It
tastes
tastes a
like
little like
chicken.
chicken.
Yeah. And I think it's really like I think it's underrated. I There is a restaurant actually. Shout out to Alligator Soul in Savannah, Georgia. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but
No, not that
yeah,
restaurant anyway.
they're really good, and their whole thing is that they do like high quality meats, and they have alligator tail on their menu, but they also have like seasonal game on their menu, and so you can go there
Ooh.
and try out like the different options for like the what they have that month for game. And when I went there a long time ago, I ended up having some type of antelope like steak.
Wow. I think I've never had antelope, but I've had like bison before and really didn't like it. Like it was an experience. I'd recommend it, but it was definitely not my type of meat. Not my thing. It's too gamey.
Yeah, antelope was pretty good. They have bison, I think, on the menu there as like a regular for people who want to go there, uh, and have that. But I really liked going and trying whatever meat is special, just to be like I did it, because how often are you gonna get to
Hmm.
try like antelope, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure. I definitely tried at least once. That is officially on my list now.
yeah,
Game and Garden, wild game specialty.
what is that? Wait, where that's
I'm looking at Alligator Soul's menu. The
mm.
wild game specialty is their like cycling game source, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever it is at market price.
Yeah, it's like a little pricey because it's has the market price on it. It's
Oh yeah.
what do they say?
You're
If you have
gonna
to ask, like you can't. You
if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
yeah, which is such a fucked thing to say.
It's
Like
so
everything else is
fucked.
so like normalized that our prices are there and available for everyone to see, but like that is like what the upper crust likes to say. Like if you have to ask how much the fucking liquor is, that like you don't need to drink it, and it's like, oh my god, okay then.
Ew.
But
The last time I went, I took George to a fancy dinner and was really excited to have their drinks until I ordered their like special old fashioned because I love old fashioned. I love bourbon, and they used one of my favorite bourbons. And that was the worst old fashioned I ever had. And I wish I asked how
oh,
much it cost before I got it because it was like also the most expensive old fashioned I ever had, like 30 something dollars
oh
with
my
tip and
gosh,
tax and everything. It was so dumb.
that is really dumb.
It tasted like soda, like a fountain drink. It like really syrupy and heavy and not a fan.
What's your top three? Everyone who is like a bourbon person has like their favorite bourbons. What's your top three favorite bourbons?
Well, I haven't had anything like super top shelf, so I kind of like top two. Eagle
Okay.
Rare and Buffalo Trace are my
What was the
favorites.
first one?
Eagle Rare.
Okay. Okay. That's a cool name.
Yeah,
Uh
it's a cool bottle too. But
what's
I'm
it look
not
like?
really like super knowledgeable on
Bourbon.
bourbon. Need to
Uh
go on a bourbon trail trip.
I had an ex who like that was like their thing, is that they liked whiskey. And so like, and I don't know. There's lots of people who just like are whiskey people. And like I can't relate because like I will drink a whiskey, but it kind of tastes like earth to me. Same thing with like tequila. They are like the earth liquors, I feel like.
Mm, what you describe as it tasting earthy, like are you referring to like scotch by chance?
I mean both, like maybe I'm
Scotch is very different. Like
I'm saying whiskey in general, I feel like, and I feel like I normally have I feel like bourbon is like the American whiskey, right? Like most people who like live in America
it
and they're like,
is
or maybe I'm
it is in a sense, but like if you drink like have some scotch and bourbon side by side, you'll see exactly what I mean. They're like two totally different drinks.
See, you're one of those whiskey people, and you know what's up. You're like
I
you're like
mean, one smells smoky and peaty and the other doesn't. It's really, really strong. Like you can't, it's like tequila versus vodka.
Okay, so you're gonna give me a list of the two different ones, and I'm gonna see if I can get them. And on the next time we record, I will try them on on the
Well, I
cast.
know
And
nothing about scotch. Nothing at all. I
no, like
can't even name one off the top of my head.
you just have tried them, and you're like, oh, they taste really different.
Yeah, my ex's dad was really big into scotch, and I wanted to share a little drink of scotch with him, and I suffered through it. Like I'm too American, I guess.
Well, for me, the liquors I like to drink are rum, gin, and vodka. Um, and I probably tried the most amount of gins and rums the most because like vodka, I just get whatever is n- like normally whatever's in the middle. Like I don't necessarily want to try like potato vodka because like sometimes it's just kind of gross. But I also don't need to spend like arm and a leg on like the most expertly distilled vodka spirits. But
Yeah.
but I tried a few different. I feel like rum has the largest varying quality, and like, oh, this rum is really good. This rum is like whatever. And
hmm
I really like Kraken. I don't know if you ever had that one before. It's
Oh,
like,
I've had Kraken before. I'm not a huge fan of rum, but when I was young and in my party days, I definitely drank a lot of Kraken.
yeah, it's like one of my drinks of rums of choice, especially as a mixer because it's just so dark. It goes really good with Coke, ginger beer. Um, but I had my partner's husband get me some spiced rum as a Christmas gift, and it was called Abuelo's Rum, and it's Panamanian rum, and it was really
Ooh.
good. Like, I had never heard of it before, and I really enjoyed doing it on its own with Coke. It smells really good, and I was like, damn, I've been sleeping on this. So if you have and it was a gift. So if you need to give someone alcohol and then they like rum, and you want something maybe different than like it might seem more personal. The Abuelo's Panamanian rum, it hit the spot for me.
Hmm.
Um, Very on brand with like the Cuban communists talking about rum with our podcast persona on here. Uh, have
I guess the bourbon talk resonates with my family history, I guess, because my family started out and it's like Scots Irish communities in Appalachia
mm,
way back in the day. So, uh,
what is your background? Like you said you're Scottish. Like that's where your family like comes from, or
primarily, supposedly, Scots Irish, a little English and German. Like, there's a lot in it. It's mostly Scots Irish German.
so I'm gonna be
Little
completely.
English, little French, little Swiss, I guess. My mom is the one who was really into the genealogy thing.
I'm gonna be 100% real with you. So when I was trying to create the AI background today, like before one of the like test runs I had to do, because I kept putting mine in first, right? And it kept giving me with like a Latina looking person along with me, and I was like, I know Choco ain't got that Latina in her, and that is
Him
like.
as white as you can fucking get, man.
And so
It
when I
doesn't
was
get
doing
whiter
that,
than this.
so when I was putting it in, I started and I tried to actually put German in for you because that was like the whitest thing I could think of. Is like, okay, let's just put German and see what it gives me, and then I put white, and it was just like this was not doing it, and eventually I just had to put in Caucasian for
hmm
your.
It's like I'm not like Icelandic or like Swedish level white, but I'm up there.
Yeah, and I think Caucasian's pretty accurate, right? And
Yeah, very, very, very much so.
uh, so we talked about doing politics too and talking about video games, but I feel like we should stick with the video games to start. Have you played anything lately that you've really enjoyed? Like the last big thing that we both played was that patch upgrade in Dota that's now been a few months, I think, right? Since like the
I
river.
still hate it. I
You
don't like it anymore. I think it's the map changes are still too much.
You're
But I
like,
was only just getting used to the old one because I had a 5-year break. Come back to a new map and neutral items as a concept was still new.
and so
I'm
you
not
hate it
not
even
enjoying
worse
it
now.
super much. Yeah.
Like you'd hope that like it would grow on you, but it's done the opposite. You're like, fuck this. Like I don't want to.
Yeah. I still really don't love it.
Do you feel like it is pushing you away from wanting to play it? Like that, like you
Yeah.
have, yeah.
Yeah, I play it with friends. I play it to spend time with friends and a boyfriend. And I don't solo queue like I used to back in the day. I don't even have any desire to. Like if nobody's on playing, I'll just do something else.
Uh,
It's definitely pushed me away quite a bit.
I'm sure they'll change it probably in like 3 months. They'll like go back
Yeah,
to the old one and be
I
like,
know they
the
will.
volcano has
I'm
risen and the tectonic plates has shifted, and now Roshan's in a volcano, and the land has reclaimed the water.
oh
Uh,
my god.
watch it,
That
watch
actually
it. We have it now on recorded. If it happens, I called it. uh,
that would actually be pretty cool. I mean, I like that they change this stuff regularly. Like I guess it was getting stale. I hadn't played it for 5 years, but I guess people who still were like complaining it was getting kind of stale. So
yeah,
that's cool. But that's a whole lot of shit at one time.
and I feel that you know I feel that like the neutral items, I like them at first, but they also have waned on me the more I play it. I feel like they weakened them, and now it's really just like one. They lost a lot of personality in the way they
Yeah.
switched it, and I feel like
They
they're
all
so
kind of
much
blend
weaker.
together. Now that you like pick an item and then pick it like whatever attribute, stat, whatever to quote unquote craft it, it did lose a lot of character.
And I think one
Not that
of
I
the
really knew what they all were in the first place.
no, but like I do feel like one of the things that Dota has over like League of Legends is like some of its personality, right? Because like when
Yeah.
I think of League of Legends, I think of like you're supposed to like unlock all the points for your hero, and all the items seem very vanilla and very bland to me. Whereas like in Dota, it's like the Desolator. Like it is a name. It's a proper noun. And
Hmm.
like the image is iconic. And I don't the little bit that I played of League, I never felt like the items felt that way to me. I just felt like sword number two. Like sword buff number
Yeah.
two. Um, and now the neutrals were so cool. They're like, oh, let's add in 10 new items. They are different levels of intensity. You get to draft them, and now it's like you get to draft them, but and then no one is using the fucking tormentor
Yeah.
anymore.
I can never remember when it spawns, where it is. I
I,
don't even think about it anymore
no,
unless
I
I'm
feel
playing
like
with somebody who does.
the last few times I brought up, they're like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I heard you say boyfriend. Did you end up taking your relationship to the next level with the person you have been seeing? Because I know you were just like talking before. Uh,
Yeah, we have decided to give it a good, honest go, and he's coming back out in 2 weeks.
oh my god, that's so exciting!
Yeah, I'm
I love
very
that for you.
excited. I went from being absolutely terrified because I recently got out of a 5.5 year, very difficult relationship that was great until it wasn't. And yeah, now
They always are.
I
That's
feel
great until it
pretty,
isn't.
yeah,
But I'm
there's a
proud of
lot wrong
you.
that I
That's
was like
hard.
very complacent about. I was like so determined, be like, I'm gonna wait this, I'm gonna get through this shitty relationship season. Because long-term relationships have seasons, right? Like, it's like, I'm gonna get through this season and we're gonna be stronger on the other side until it became very clear that's not the direction it was going in. And
Well,
I
and
was like losing myself in the process of
oh, that
being
is
stubborn,
that is rough. It
trying
never.
to love somebody who didn't love me.
I feel like when I was with my ex fiance and things were rough, we went to couples counseling, and I am a strong believer that couples counseling will either put you back together with like hard work and gumption, or it will fucking tear you apart. And like
Oh my God. Our couples counselor, I don't know if he could have made it more clear whose side he seemed to be on, but we
who?
had one session separately. Well, I guess my partner didn't end up having his solo session, but I had one. And like the big revelation that this man basically shared with me at the end of our session is, do you think he's depressed? I'm like, yes.
This is what I
Thanks
pay.
for noticing. That's really helpful, actually. Gee, yeah, you think he's depressed? I
This is
think
why they
anybody who doesn't know him at all could just talk to him for 5 minutes and sense that. Thank you. Thank you for this.
why they pay them the big
Really.
bucks, to
Yeah.
to call to call the obvious shots. I
It's what's even more hilarious is he's on the city council in my town or the
Your
city commission,
therapist?
whatever. Yeah.
No, they are not.
Yeah, he is.
That is
he's
like
he's
some like
from a
Parks
little
and
bit
Rec
I
style levels of of ridiculousness, right? Like what? Like
yeah.
you're unhappy with your new city ordinance, and like you go to talk, and you just see your therapist on there. He's like, I promise, like everything is confidential, and you're like, oh my god, like maybe you should stick
Yeah.
to one profession or the other, you
Yeah, I
know?
kind of wish he did because he was like not a very good therapist. And maybe he was, maybe he is in general, but because he ran and was elected a few years ago, um because there's just some like local politics shit going on that he was very unhappy with. And like from the little few videos I saw, a little bit I read, I'm in full agreement with him and like that's great that he did that.
Hmm.
But yeah, it did feel a little weird having that in the back of my mind as I'm attending our therapy sessions.
Yeah, this is the person that's
Ugh.
helping make decisions for like your local roads and like
Yeah,
uh
I think he seems to be a better city commissioner than a therapist.
which is hilarious, to be honest. Like you cannot write stranger fiction, like
Mm,
uh
yeah,
like if I ever run a D&D campaign, I may use that like as a funny thing, like someone who's like a personal shaman for like a community, and it's just like, oh yeah, I also like determine the roads. you know
yeah.
it's like, what the fuck.
Ugh.
Oh, so I know you like to play games with your partners. Have you played any new games that you really enjoyed? Games you recommend to people listening?
Um, I mean, they're not new. I generally don't play a lot of new games. I'm like a patient gamer.
Hmm.
I don't like paying full price, but that said, I did buy 3 Warhammer 40K games. Rogue Trader is new. Space Marine's kind of new, and Dark Tide's a little bit older now. I forget it came out a few years ago, but
It's so funny
my
that
partner
we
and I have
that
been playing that. That's super fun.
I was really interested in so I've never really got into 40K. I know it from
Me neither.
I play a lot of Magic the Gathering, and they had like a commander expansion for it, and so I knew it from that. And then I know it when I was younger. I used to see Dark Heresy, which I think is like their tabletop like thing, and I always thought it looked really cool and edgy when I was like 21, but I never bought it. And so now 40K has exploded because it's everywhere. It's in Magic the Gathering. It's like
Yeah.
in multiple games, and Rogue Trader seemed cool. The new Space Marines looked cool.
Oh,
Like,
Space Marine 2 is so much fun. It's so satisfying. That's like some of the most satisfying combat for like you put in a little tiny bit of effort and you get a ton of satisfaction in combat in this game.
is it single
Like I'm
player?
not it's multiplayer.
Okay,
I think you
okay.
have parties of 3. Ratchets and I were playing it and Christina hopped on. Like next time we're on can get a little
A
group
little
going.
taste. Yeah, I don't have it yet, but it looks cool. Um, these days, sometimes you just have to play what you have when times are tough. Unfortunately, I've been playing a lot of
Yeah.
Slay the Spire also, which isn't necessarily new for me, but anyone who likes roguelike games and card games, like Slay the Spire is such a move, and there's like 20 levels of difficulty to like aspire to, and I finally made it to
Mm.
level 20 on my main class called the Ironclad, which is like this warrior woman who like takes debuffs to power themselves up. So that's been a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah, I'm terrible at that game, but it is definitely a lot of fun. Did you know there's a board game version?
oh, do I know if there's a board game version of it?
I figured you would.
I actually have the collector's edition of the board game. It
So
was a
does
gift.
Joe.
That's so funny. You know, I'm not really a solo board game person, and this is one of the board games where I was like, I will play by myself, and I really enjoyed it. Even because it feels just like solitaire sometimes when you play by yourself, but the solitaire was
Mhm.
so satisfying, and that's pretty rare for me because the interaction between players is normally what brings me to like a board game and the magic for it. But this one is really fun, and something cool about the collector's edition is it came with like metal coins, and so it's such a nice tactile
Oh,
feeling.
neat.
um and so yeah, i I recommend that board game, and if you have never played it yourself, being on a team together and doing it kind of take some of that like, oh, I'm bad at it away from it, because we're just working together to like achieve a goal, which is always kind of fun.
Yeah. I'm kind of like tired of competitive games for a while. I think that's another reason why I've been like moving away from Dota a bit more.
I'm still hoping I can convince you to boot up that root sometime.
I want to play. It's one of those things like I have over 500 games in my Steam library, right? I played about 400 of them because I was a Humble Bundle whore for a while. They just kind
Me
of
too.
accumulate and
Humble
yeah,
Bundle has
but
like
it does
fallen too,
look
right? Because I feel like
interesting.
Humble
I
Bundle used to be
really,
so good, and it's like not anymore. I feel like. Do you still
yeah,
have
that's why I ended up stopping. I stopped like years ago.
like gems, like true diamonds in the rough were found on Humble Bundle, and you get them for such a good deal, and then you knew your money was going towards charity, and it was like perfect. And now it's like, man, do I it's like there's like five different Humble Bundles, and they're all of middling quality, and they're all really expensive, and it's like this has gone away. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad. I was so unimpressed with like I guess a few months in a row of what our options were and just got tired of it. I think they were getting rid of the whatever the plan I was on too. I forget what it was called. It's like classic or something like that. This is so long ago.
I don't know if I ever told you I really like movies and going to the theater. Like it's one of my favorite pastimes. And I had recently gotten I've always been a Cinemark person since I lied. Growing up in Key West, we only had one movie theater. We had a Regal, and that was it. We had like a local theater, but like the Regal was the only corporate option, to have
Hmm.
movies. And so when I moved to Gainesville, they still also really only had Regals. But then when I moved to Jacksonville, is a big metropolitan area, we had all kinds. We had AMC, we had Cinemark, we had Regal, and I got to like experience different theaters. And for the longest time, I was a Cinemark bis. Like I really enjoyed their like higher end formats. I thought the food was good. I liked the chairs. I live nearby one, and recently I've been trying AMC because they have this deal where you spend like $20, $25, and you get to see up to three movies for free every week. And like
Oh, cool.
$25 for like essentially 12 movies a month is a really good deal.
Yeah, if you see a lot of movies,
I've
that's a
been
sweet deal.
I have been watching so many movies, and now I even feel like almost like obligated to go, because if not, like I'm not really getting my money's worth. Uh,
Yeah.
and I had seen some really good movies. I saw Mickey 17, that was really good. Um, I saw a movie called Ash yesterday, which was okay. Um, I saw the black box that had like Magneto, Michael Fassbender, yeah, in it. So these have all been pretty cool movies. I definitely recommend checking out. Do you like sci-fi movies?
Yeah. I'm not like a cinephile or anything, but I like
Did
sci-fi.
Did you ever watch Parasite from a few years ago? It was the Korean.
I never got to it, no.
Uh, well, that director recently came out with a new sci-fi flick where he adapted a story, and it stars Robert Pattinson, and his name is Mickey 17, and has Mark Ruffalo playing essentially a Trumpian esque like oligarch that is like commanding
Hmm.
a trip to this other planet, and he kills it, everyone kills it, and it has such good themes in this movie. And so if you want a dystopian love romance sci-fi thriller thingy that is very like prominent of our times, I definitely recommend seeing it. It's very good, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those movies I meant to see and just never got around to it. That tends to happen a lot with movies, especially.
Are there any TV shows or movies that you saw recently that you really liked that you were like?
Again, nothing new. I don't play many new games. I don't see many new shows. For shows like I feel like I've been burned so many times that I won't have
are,
more than one or two subscription services at a time.
so you're
And I won't start a show until it's at least mostly done.
so are you like a rewatcher then? You like to like
Yeah.
have a comfort show? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Star Trek,
Which
Deep
one?
Space Nine, Next Generation, and Voyager are like my comfort shows. I even have them on DVDs.
Yeah, it's so funny. I I love Star Trek. I watched Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Next Generation when I was in college because it used to be all on Netflix before.
It used to be, yeah. I picked up Next Generation, I think in the last month that it was on Netflix while I still had a subscription. I was like, I don't want this rug to be ripped out from under me again. So I just bought the whole set
Well, and like
and bought a DVD, a Blu-ray player just for it.
oh wow, you don't even have. I feel like everyone now just has a PlayStation 5 as their as
Yeah,
their new.
I don't have any consoles. I have a Switch. That's the only console I own. And I'm all my old like well, not all, most of my old consoles. Like I still have my old 64 and Super Nintendo and stuff, but the latest PlayStation I owned was a PS2.
Wow, PlayStation 2. That
Yeah.
takes me back, boy. Let me tell you what, that was a good console.
I do need to get at least a PS4 because I've still never played Bloodborne or Demon Souls, and as a FromSoft fanatic, it's a little embarrassing at this point.
And they don't have PC ports, right?
No, they probably never will. I
That
think Demon Souls might get one. That's
Demon
been
Souls. They
rumored,
remade that,
but
didn't they?
Bloodborne, yeah.
I played that
Bloodborne
remake.
won't get one.
I liked it a lot. The Demon Souls that came out for PlayStation 5. That was really good. Uh and I was never a huge Souls person. Uh like I played a little bit of Demon Souls original when it came out on what was that, PlayStation 3?
I
I
think
think.
so, yeah. I
Uh
think so.
because my friend recommended it to me, my friend Carlos. And then I kind of, didn't get into the Dark Souls, and then I played Elden Ring. Elden Ring was fucking good, man. Like I really
Oh
enjoyed it.
man.
Did you
Elden
get?
Ring's so good. I'm really glad I started with Dark Souls though, because it's a little weird going from a game like Elden Ring, which is so open world. If you don't like what you're working on, you can just go do something else a little bit easier. But all the other Dark Souls games, 1, 2, and 3 are all pretty linear.
You
So
know,
if you're like stuck on a boss, you're fucking stuck. Good luck.
I think that's some of the
Good luck,
magic
get
of
good,
Elden
don't
Ring,
die.
though. Being able to like really engage with the world and like play with it,
Yeah.
and it was such a good world. I mean, it was a good call for them to partner with George R. Martin, right? Because he helped write some of the lore
Hmm.
and the story, and I
Yeah,
almost.
he worked on the world building in Elden Ring, and you can really feel if you've read it, like anything he's written. Like I've read all of Song of Ice and Fire up to this point. Like you can really feel his influence. Like his world building, I think, is top notch.
I only watched the TV shows, and I watched all of them. And I was so disappointed with the ending.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that. I want to just forget how it ended.
I have some
Just
shows that I
forget the
feel that
last 2
way
seasons.
about that too. Do you watch anime? I don't remember.
Actually, my partner has been getting me to watch more anime, so I'm getting
Oh,
there.
what have you
I'm
been
still
watching?
relative. I've seen like old stuff I used to watch in high school, and I was in high school 20 years ago, so like I don't know anything
What's the last thing you
new.
watched though, regardless of time, that you were like, "Oh, this is good. I'm enjoying this." Something that you felt like brought you're like, "Oh man, I've been missing out by not re-engaging with this." That yours like recommended
Um,
to you.
I'm trying to think. Like we're currently watching Solo Leveling,
Okay.
which isn't like it's
N-
not like blowing me away. There's a lot of it that really irritates me, but I think overall it's like a cool I like the dungeon crawler kind of feel to it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
also reading the Dungeon Crawler Carl series right now, so they work really well together.
wait. What is that? What's the dungeon crawlers?
It's like I think it's a small a short series. I don't know how many books right now. I'm listening to it. I just finished the second one. And basically the premise is aliens destroyed Earth, like killed most people, and they forced the few million survivors into like these dungeon crawler kind of situations where there's like different
What?
levels and you have to like finish a level to move on to the next one, and it's really fun. It's just very entertaining.
That is so cool. Can you say that one more time? What it's called and who made it, so I can remember to look it up.
Forget the author. Let me pull it up on Audible real quick.
And it's a good
The
listen.
series is
Also,
called, huh?
it's a good listen. Like
Oh yeah,
okay.
I'm listening to it. It's the voice actor is really good, in my opinion. It's called the series is called Dungeon Crawler Carl. Author is Matt Dinneman,
Okay. Uh,
and the I'm trying to I don't want to download it. I'm just trying to find it in the store so I can tell you um who the narrator is because he's really good.
the last time I was burned on an Audible is I wanted to listen to, read whatever the Witcher series, because I really enjoyed Witcher 3 and the, Netflix adaptations and animations. And so I had done it, and the author does not give Geralt the same voice, and I couldn't listen to it. Like,
Oh yeah, I heard it was not great.
no, and because like Geralt's voice is so distinct, and I'm butchering it, but you know,
Yeah.
uh, he's just gruff and uh, like distinct and exactly, and Henry Cavill did such a good job trying to mimic it, but like
Oh yeah.
uh, you
Netflix
know,
really tanked that show. They got what they intended. They
I
tried to tank it. They did everything wrong after the first season.
I thought I enjoyed Henry Cavill was still in the second season, right?
Yeah, but what happened was Netflix hired writers who didn't like the franchise,
Mm, mm,
thinking that like if they hire writers who don't like the franchise, they can see the weaknesses in it and turn them into
mm.
strengths, and it really didn't work that way.
That's such a
I,
bullshit
I don't
lie.
think.
That's such a bullshit lie. As if any company is ever going to be like, how do we you know, make sure that our product is weaker so we can be
Yeah.
better? Like that's such that Netflix, who like will just throw money at anything. Like no, that's such bullshit. You're right. They wanted to
Mm.
tank that.
I
Um,
watched the first episode of season 2, and I think if I remember correctly, the first episode is where they encounter an enemy called a Leshen, which is
yeah.
my favorite, by far my favorite creature in that entire fucking franchise.
Mm,
And they just made him so they changed it so much. Like I don't know the lore behind like where the concept for it actually comes from. I think it's a few different like regional mythologies.
mm.
I'm not sure. Been haven't been curious enough to actually look it up, but I don't know. They just made it nonsensical. It
I
turned me off so much.
Yeah, it definitely was not as good as the video games or the first season. I don't think it was terrible, but it just, you're right. It like, and then they removed Henry Cavill on season 3, and they
He
had one of the
left.
Hemsworth, right? One of the Hemsworth brothers supposed to like
I
do it,
think
and
it
it's
was
like
Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, but Cavill left
he
because
left.
he hated what they were doing to Carol.
Yeah, and
Like
while like we
Henry
did,
Cavill's a huge fan of the Witcher series.
he's also a 40K fan. I've heard some problematic stuff about him, but he's a very talented actor, and he did a really great job
Yeah.
with that show. But I actually heard a really interesting take regarding like so many people are spend your money where your mouth is or whatever, right? And like don't buy things that you don't support and blah blah blah. Which like
Yeah.
is all fine and dandy, especially when it's like a strike or like a boycott. Like I definitely get that, right? But like it is someone I was listening to, I don't remember if it was Hans Piker or someone else, had mentioned how liberal of a take it is to be like, oh, I have this moral superiority because like I'm consuming in a certain way that doesn't really like uh align with me. And so uh that is I thought that was a really good, interesting perspective on it, because like uh there are so many other ways of engaging with what the fuckery that's going on around us, other
Hmm.
than just being like, oh, I didn't watch this TV show because like this person is problematic or whatever. um and I get why
Yeah.
like studios do it, but like there are so many, and again, it's different than like boycott dispensing sanctions, right? Like, because that makes a lot of sense, right? Everyone is collectively trying to not purchase these things that are supporting a country that's committing a genocide. Uh,
Hmm.
but like being like, oh, I didn't watch the most recent Marvel movie because it's like military propaganda. Like, oh yeah, that's totally fair. I just remembered it was FD Signifier, and if you've never listened to FD Signifier, I definitely recommend next time you're on YouTube and you want to watch a really good video essay to check them out.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I like the occasional video essay. I try to watch like one or two a week.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it to him. He's this black educator from Atlanta, and he does like politics of what's going on within like the manosphere. Also, he like talks about like he also is into rap, and so he like heavily discussed and broke down the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef that happened. I don't know if you were following that a few months ago.
I tend to live under a rock with that kind of stuff.
Well, he did like the best
But
breakdown you could, one of the best breakdowns you could with it. Uh,
perfect.
Yeah, I'll send you one or two of his videos. It's pretty good. But yeah, he had mentioned that because he was talking about uh the action hero star, and like the changing of it. Whereas like in the 80s, the action hero, was like this big macho kind of hyper masculine Arnold Schwarzenegger type. And then more recently with like, John Wick and these other ones are more of like these quote unquote sigma males that are kind of, and so he was talking about the change in masculinity within like
Hmm.
the action hero genre. He had brought that up, and he's such a great resource to listen to left leaning ideas with it. Um, and it is crazy out there with what the fuck is happening in the world of politics. I feel like uh
Yeah, I've got to admit, I've been living with my head in the sand for the last few months, just trying to maybe it's selfish, maybe it's smart. I don't know. It really depends on the agenda of whoever you're asking.
it's really
I've been
hard.
just trying to focus on getting myself mentally healthy, and I think that's paying off. I think I'm ready to take my head out of the sand a little bit more now. Try
Yeah,
to engage with the world more.
it's scary stuff, and it's wild. So being Cuban, my family is immigrants and historically pretty conservative, and it's really interesting because like my mom has been generally apolitical, but like would follow the patriarch's perspectives on politics because like that's just machismo, right? And so
Yeah.
uh growing up, I remember my mom really liked World War II a lot, and the story of Anne Frank, that was like one of her favorites to like engage with and like listen to, and I just remember it a lot. And I remember talking to her recently and was like, I remember this, and now you get to live it, because like
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think like the biggest thing that has been happening to me of memory, and I don't know if you heard about this, was like they rounded up a whole bunch of Venezuelan looking people, and sent them without due process to El Salvador. Did you hear about this?
Yeah. Oh, a little bit. Yeah. And I think some of them were actually U.S. citizens, weren't they?
I think one was a U.S. citizen. It was a woman. Yeah, they just black bagged these people, put them on a plane, ignored a judge because they had the judge being like, "You need to turn around and you need to go through regular process." And they're like, "Sorry, man," or "No, nose goes. We're already in the air." And it's like,
Yeah.
what? You just get to like,
It's
uh,
interesting to see that they just kept on going, and I mean, I have not been paying very close attention to it. It's a emotional capacity limitation of mine.
yeah, yeah.
But I haven't seen any signs of any repercussions. I wonder if they're just gonna keep kicking the can down the road. Our
Well,
due process is not quick,
you
and that's
know,
part of its weakness.
what's wild is like just before this all started happening, the administration took, right? Like we affirmed that like the president essentially has like unlimited power and can't be like prosecuted for his actions. Like,
Yeah.
and
Wasn't that one of the first executive orders he signed?
well, it was like what happened was that he was being tried in court for like crimes that he had allegedly committed,
Yeah.
and like the court found that he was guilty of these crimes, but that like the sentence was that like essentially like invalid because like he was the president and you can't have a president in jail for crimes, essentially is what they were saying. And
Hmm.
so it gave this power to the presidency to have like immunity for his actions, his official actions, and like what is official and unofficial. And I think it's pretty fair to say
Yeah.
that everything that has been going on since he's been president has been like official actions, and even with that,
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been pretty damn. It's as official as you can get.
for real. And like it's it's a lot. So all of these things are happening, and he's already affirmed from the Supreme Court, which he stacked, that like you know that there will be no repercussions for these actions, because
Yeah.
like he is a god king. The president is now officially god king and won't
Yeah.
even
It's
listen to courts
terrifying.
officially. Yeah.
He won't listen to courts and is actively trying to undermine them. It's very scary.
There's a lot of people who mention that like they haven't really, we live in the imperial core, and that like we don't really get to see what it's like for fascist governments to rise up in industrialized areas because like our industrialization happened over 100 years ago. And this is what it happens. Like it happens in Brazil, it happens in all these countries where they historically the U.S. has implanted like fascist dictators into them,
Hmm.
and now we're just like living it.
Yeah.
Uh,
We've done it to ourselves now. It's about time.
and it's wild because like my mom tried to say, and I've heard other people say this, that they were like, "Oh, he's just doing what he said he was gonna do," and like,
Exactly.
and it's like,
That's
yeah,
the point, isn't it?
the
Like he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
the illegal stuff that's terrible and monstrous.
Yeah, it's awful. People have been eating this up. Like his supporters have been eating this up.
Well,
This is what they wanted. They're getting exactly what they wanted.
and you see,
It's
especially in
sad.
small towns, though, so many people who were supporters flipping back. especially after
Yeah.
Doge was created. I don't know if you heard
Yep.
about that or not, but they.
Yep. That's a joke I commonly make to my Trump supporting coworkers. I'm like, have you done your five? Because we work for a regulated utility, which is like not federal, but like I used to say like um, our position in this company is as safe as you can get without working for the federal government, and now it's probably the safest you can get considering what's going on with the federal government.
Yeah,
But
like,
I'll always make this joke to them, like, have you done your five bullet points yet before Elon comes in?
oh my god. Well, it's nuts because like people are upset, and even my local news station was saying that there was Doge, like community meetings happening within like our civic centers,
Oh
and
God.
everyone was, but like people are upset about it,
Yeah,
and
they should be. I wish they were more upset, like when Trump was just all talk and no action, and then they voted for him, and now he's all action and talk.
I think this is the power of propaganda, right? And it's very similar, I feel
Hmm.
like, to how the UK like switched over and had Brexit, right? Because like they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to leave the United, the EU because uh
It reminds me, didn't Trump say we could totally join like the British Commonwealth or something? I saw a headline. I don't know. Like
I don't know
it
about
was
that one,
just
but they've been
if
talking
that was
about.
him actually making this claim or just like him talking out his ass like he always does. Like that's just hilarious to me, especially after something like Brexit.
Oh my god! I know that like talking about annexing Canada, which is like, it was
Yeah.
so funny because like all the Republicans were like, we can't annex Canada because it'll just be like adding another California to like our population.
Exactly.
There's a lot of
It's so
conservative
funny.
Canadians though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially in like rural parts of like Saskatchewan, Alberta. Yeah, definitely.
My ex fiance, her dad was Canadian, and their family were like capitalists that owned factories there, or owned
Mhm.
industry, and they were so conservative. And I mean that's why they came over to America, right? Like you see the people who emigrate here a lot of times, if they're not coming to leave in a dire situation, that they're like, well, I just want to be able to make more money, you know,
Yeah.
which is nuts.
It's
Like,
pretty crazy.
we driftly live in the darkest timeline, I think. If it
I
gets.
probably wouldn't have said that like a couple of years ago, but yeah, I am inclined to agree now. I was trying to hold on to any shred of like optimism I had, and yeah, that's kind of gone at this point.
Like, I don't know how we move forward from here outside of continuing to organize collectively, but like, it's like,
Yeah.
what legal recourse do we even have to do it? And like, another popular YouTuber, Legal Eagle, he had a recent.
Yeah.
You watch Legal Eagle? You fan?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Legal Eagle.
I mean, have
But
you heard
he's
his like voice and how he's been like so distraught over what's happened, and how he
yeah.
seems like he doesn't know how to move forward.
Yeah. Isn't he taking a break? I saw I didn't watch the video, but it looked
No,
like
that
he
was
was
like
stepping
clickbait.
back.
That was clickbait headlines, where it was like,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Good. Thank God.
yeah. I think they were saying that they were gonna try to do less type of content X, Y, or Z,
Hmm.
but like not that they were slowing down or anything. I think
Okay,
he
good.
wanted to bring on more people to do stuff, which is his most recent, I think, video was called like uh Lawyers Strike Back or Judges Strike Back, and I haven't watched that yet. It's on my to watch list, which I'll probably do after this, and we can talk about it on the next time we meet to do a podcast again. But
That
uh,
could be something interesting to talk about because I'll try to watch it as well. I have a lot of stuff I want to catch up on, but I'm also like kind of getting tired
yeah,
today.
yeah. Uh, I know we both have busy days. I have to go shoot later some photography and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I feel bad. I completely forgot my friend is in Florida for like a family reunion, I think a funeral kind of thing, and we're supposed to meet for dinner at some point, but like he can't really give me a timeline because he's up in Ocala right now. He's staying in Tampa.
Oh my
His
god.
cousins live in Claremont, so like he doesn't know like when he's gonna be coming through the area, but at some point he will be. I'm trying to like stay ready,
Yeah.
but
That's a lot.
yeah,
Those are
it's yeah,
like 3 hours like apart. Like Tampa's on the
yeah.
west coast, Ocala's in the center, Claremont's between
Mm-hmm.
them both. Like
Yep.
it's weird.
So I'm just like, just name a place, like wherever your cousins want to go. I'll meet you guys out there as long as it's like within an hour or so. Like I'll drive like an hour. I don't mind. I don't get to see him very often.
Mm.
But yeah. He's like asking me for suggestions. Like, I have no idea.
We'll take your camera so
Name the
you
place,
can
I'll meet you there.
take your camera so you can take photos of while you're traveling. There's lots of interesting sites in those areas to take pictures of, and it's always good
Yeah.
to
I mean, it
practice.
depends on the time and when I hear from him.
Well, that's why I always like just carry. I try to just carry something with me that's easy to shoot because like uh that's the only way I can keep the practice in. But I guess that's
Yeah.
all the time we have for today. We'll have to decide on a name before the next one, but we have some cool options. I even refined it after those ones and added gaming influenced names too in it. Like there was one that was actually really funny. It was Revolutionary Raid Party, which is
Ooh,
yeah,
that's an interesting one.
yeah. uh, Comrades and Controllers. It's funny.
That's kind of silly.
It's
Yeah.
silly. I used
I found my
DeepSeek
camera.
for this, which is even funnier. The communist China, AI
Yeah.
company to do it in. It did not disappoint, but it was so nice talking to you, Choco, and hope to do this again sometime in April and touch back some more on politics and the dystopia we live within, and try not to cry ourselves into a stupor.
Yeah. Try not to lose our minds. Try to stay healthy and energetic enough to keep working.
Well, thanks. Bye, everybody.